Namaskaraha. In this video, we'll see how to pronounce the letters in Sanskritam shown here. The letters are sh, sh, sa. So we'll look at them in a little bit detail of the way to pronounce these letters. The letters in Sanskrita Varnamala, which is shown here, they are phonetic, means they are based on dhvani or sound. So each letter has a defined sthanam, karanam, and prayatna. Sthanam is the place in the vocal cavity from where sound is supposed to originate, and karanam means the part of the tongue which is supposed to touch that sthanam or the place in the mouth or the vocal cavity. And then there is a prayatna or the effort, which is again of two types. Abhyantara prayatna, which is the primary effort or the effort which is required to produce that sound before it comes out of the mouth. And bahya prayatnaha, it is the effort which is required or needed to produce that sound after it comes out of the mouth. So in our present context, the sh, sh, sa, these three letters, where do they fall? They are near the end of this Varnamala. As we see here, so they are near the end of the Varnamala. Sha, sha, sa. So we look at these letters, how to pronounce them in a little bit detail now. As per Dhvani Shastram or Shiksha Shastram, the place of origin or the Varnasthanam for these letters are like this. Like Ichu Yashanam Talahu, that means for the letters E and the letters which are in the Ch series, that is Ch, Cha, Ja, Jha, Ya, and Ya and Sha, for these the place of origin is Talu, which is like the palate portion of the, just behind the top part of the oral cavity here. For the next one, that is Rutu Rashana Murdha, for the Ru and the letters in the T series, Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na, R and Sh. For these letters, the sthanam or the place of origin is Murdha, which is the top part, a top portion of the mouth, which is shown here. The next one, Lutu Lasanam Dantaha, for Lu, Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na, La and Sa, the place of origin is Danta or just behind the tooth here. Now Karanam, or what part of Jivha or the tongue has to be used to produce these sounds? The first one is Talusthanaha Madhyena. That means the middle part of the tongue is used to produce the sounds which originate from Talu or this palate. That means for sure, the middle part of the tongue has to come near this part, the Talu part. And for sha, it is said that Murdhanyaha Prativeshtyagram. For the letters which originate from Murdhan or this roof part, the Agra or the tip of the tongue has to be curled. Prativeshtya means it has to be curled, and then it has to come, either it has to touch or it has to come near this Murdha or the roof part of the oral cavity. And for Danta, Dantyaha Jihvagra Karanaha. So that means for the letters which originate from danta, or just behind the tooth, the Juffa agra, the tip of the tongue, has to be involved to produce that sound. So with this knowledge, we'll proceed to look further into how to pronounce sh, and sa. The first one is sh, whose sthanam, or the place of origin, is talu, which is shown here, and that almost just behind the top part of the mouth. And the karanam, or the part of the tongue which is used to produce this sound, is jihvayaha madhyabhagaha, or the middle part of the tongue. And the third aspect is prayatna, or the effort for this sound, is ishat vivrutaha, or the primary effort, the abhyantar prayatna, is ishat vivrutaha. That means slightly open. The mouth is slightly open. And mahapranaha, this is the another is part of the bahya prayatna, or the secondary effort. That is mahapranaha. That is, more breath is needed, or the deep breath is needed while pronouncing this sound. Yeah, sure. So with these three, so the talu, which is here, so take the middle part of the sound, middle part of the tongue, like take it upside, and without completely touching, because it is ishat vivruta. It is not going to touch that part. The jufa is not going to touch that part, and it is going to go very near to it, and then the vayu, or the air, is pushed out. Sh. So this is somewhat approximate image, or the drawing here, which I'm trying to show. Sh. Sh. The next letter is sh, which sthanam is murdha, which is just after this talu, murdha, which is like the roof part of the mouth. And the karanam is the part of the tongue which is going to be used here, is prativeshtagram, the agra part, the tip of the tongue, but it's going to be curled a little bit. So, and the prayatna, or the effort involved here, is this is also ishatvarutta and mahaprana. It doesn't touch completely, a little bit open, and mahaprana, which is more breath, or the deep breath, is needed while pushing the air out. The sh. So you can try that sh. This is similar to the other letters which are having the same sthanam. That's a ta, tha, da, dha, na. So they are all having the same sthanam, that is murdha, ta, tha, da, dha, na. So, but there is a difference here. For sh, it does not touch. It slightly touches while pushing the air out, whereas ta, tha, da, dha, na, they touch this part, whereas sh doesn't touch that part of the mouth. So with the tongue, without completely touching that part, with air pushing out, sh can be pronounced. The next one is sa. The sthanam, the place of origin, is danta, just behind the tooth. Karanam, the part of the tongue, is jufaya agrabhaga, the tip of the tongue will be used to touch the back side of the tooth, the front teeth. And prayatna, effort involved, is similar to the last, that is sh, and the sa. They have the same prayatna for abhyantara, that is primary effort, and the bahya prayatna, both are same. Ishat vivrutaha and mahapranaha. That means the tongue doesn't completely touch the part of the mouth, and more breath is needed. So taking the tip of the tongue behind the teeth but not completely touching it, pushing the air out, you can pronounce sa, sa. So the sa sthanam is, see, it is danta, which is lutulasanam dantaha. So lu, that is the one of the swaras, vowels, and takara, tathadadhana, they also have the same place of origin, but tathadadhana, they touch the part of the teeth behind the teeth, the tongue touches that part, but whereas sa, it is doesn't touch, it just goes very near to that part behind the teeth, but does not touch that part. Sa, the air is pushed out. Now that we have seen the ways to pronounce the three letters sha, sha, sa, we'll see some examples while they are used in words. Like the first is Shankara, Shankara. Remember that sha, this is talavya, which is to produced from this part, the top part here, okay, and taking the middle part of the tongue near that and pushing the air out, Shankara. And similarly Shankara, and then there is a Sharkara, Sharkara, which means sugar, Sharkara. Then the next one is the Sha word, which is Sha, Sha letter, which is Murdha, which has to be the sthanam, the place is Murdha here, and tip of the tongue curled, push the air out. Shanmukha, Sha. So you can see the difference between this. You can hear the difference between the letters Sha and Sha, Sha, Sha. So that has to be clearly pronounced. Sha as in Shankara, Shanmukha, Shanmukha. So if you try to pronounce Shankara with that Murdhanya Sha, Murdhanya, how does it sound like? Shankar, Shankara. Is it Shankara and Shankara? There is a difference. So if it is Talavya Sha, which is the right way to pronounce is Shankara. If you use Murdhanya, then it becomes Shankara. Then, so for the word Shanmukha, this Sha, which is Murdhanya Sha, is used. And the similar to the same Vishnu is also to be pronounced with the Shan, like Shanmukha Sha, that is Murdhanya Sha, like Vishnuhu, Vishnuhu, not Vishnuhu, Vishnuhu. That Sha has to be properly pronounced there, Vishnuhu. And then Sa, which is I think more obvious, is Sa, Suresha, Suresha, not Shuresha or Shuresha, Suresha, and then Sankarshanaha, Sankarshanaha. So these are some of the examples which I hope is clear, and also there is a famous line that Swajanaha Shwajano Mabhut Sakalam Shakalam Sakrit Shakrit, so which emphasizes the importance of pronouncing the letters or the sounds correctly, otherwise the meaning can widely vary or it might totally change. For example, that is this line is saying here, Swajanaha Shwajano Mabhut, means Swajana means the relatives, one's own people. Shwajanaha, Shwajana means the dogs. Shwajanaha means the group of dogs. So see the total the meaning changes, Swajana and Shwajana. And Sakalam, Shakalam, Sakrit, Shakrit. Sakala, so again we are using Dante here. Sakala means everything, Shakala means the piece. Sakrit means at once, Sakrit, at once. Shakrit, the last one is the Talavya Sha, Shakrit. If instead of pronouncing Sakrit, if you pronounce Shakrit, the meaning changes. Sakrit means at once. Shakrit means the mala or the waste, human waste actually, the Shakrit. So the importance of pronunciation is very much highlighted, and hopefully you understood the difference of pronunciation between Shankara, Shanmukha, Vishnu, Suresha, Sankarshana, etc. The difference between sh, and sa. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you.